while we go public now, we can't wait till tomorrow morning to let the public out there know that we're not operating.
You're watching SA Trending Updates. Please consider subscribing and hit that bell notification.
Hence, we are still in this because we cannot agree on something that is a law. Law should take its course. That is why we are now going to court for legal assistance in this regard. That then puts us in a corner in terms of starting operating tomorrow, because we have taken that decision late this afternoon, and the process of court depends. But our lawyers are busy compiling affidavits and so on, like application that they will submit latest by Friday. Then we will see what happens after that. And the application is to interdict the City of Cape Town and the Provincial Department of Mobility for impounding our vehicles. That is where we are at the moment. But we are still waiting for the minister, meaning the national minister, to come back from the officials of the province, including the premier, and tell us what they have agreed upon. But at the moment, that is what we have done so far. Hence, I said at the beginning that you might get another news by tomorrow morning or later tonight, but at the moment, that is where we are in terms of the progress with our negotiations. I don't know if my colleague, Mr. Khayan, want to add something.
No, I just want to add that while we go public now, we can't wait till tomorrow morning to let the public out there know that we're not operating. So that's why, hence, we will take the decision that we say that we're not going to operate tomorrow until we file the papers in court, because JP's threat out there is that he will impound 25 vehicles for every vehicle that was stoned, burned, or what. So if you add that up, I don't know how many vehicles he's going to impound, and I think that will just throw some oil on the fire, because people is not going to be happy if that should happen. And for that reason, we will rather take the route to court than exposing our members to his intimidation.
Lastly, we wanted to sincerely apologize to our commuters out there. We care for them. We know that they are stranded. We really apologize and hope that they will understand. We are doing this for the best of both us and them. As they could see that in the previous years, we've been going on stairway and inconveniencing everyone, including them, but when we come back, we have nothing. But now that we are clear about this legislation, we hope that this will be resolved now and for good. So we really want to apologize to our commuters out there and ask for their patience. Thank you so much. Questions?
I would like to know, has a provision been made for the school transport, because the provincial department has indicated that nearly 250,000 of pupils in the province have not been able to attend school from Thursday, and also nearly 10,000 teachers in the province have not been able to attend work. So has SANTACO thought about that sector, and maybe would you allow for the children to be transported to schools?
Thank you for that question. The scholar transport representative were part of the decision, and they endorsed the stairway, meaning that they are in what we are now.
Just a question from our side, Mr. Inge. There seems to be a letter floating doing the rounds on a apparently from the City of Cape Town / also the Premier of the Western Cape addressed to SANTACO with regards to a possible meeting tomorrow and negotiations going forward. Can you confirm as SANTACO whether this letter was indeed sent to you by the Premier / City of I think it's either the Premier and the Department, the Minister of Mobility in the Western Cape? Can you confirm that, please, sir?
Sorry,
No.
can I just add on that? The city also says that this is the purpose of deciding the agenda for the first task team meeting. I understand that SANTACO, the taxi industry, pulled away from that task team. Just to add on the question of Vanessa.
No, that was not communicated to us.
So you have not received?
We have not received any communication from the City of Cape Town and also from the Department of Mobility.
Are you willing to engage with the local and provincial government tomorrow?
If they come on board.
What does that mean if they come on board?
If they come, but I just said that yesterday we were waiting for them. They didn't come, they didn't apologize. So we're not expecting them to come. Hence, we are now working hand in hand with the National Minister of Transport. There was?
Closer to again, I want to find out on what grounds will SANTACO be approaching the courts on, in terms of like the legal route. What exactly will you be challenging?
As I have said, that we wanted to interdict the City of Cape Town and the Department of Mobility in impounding our vehicles.
On what grounds? Like which
On the grounds that I've already alluded in that as well, because I've said that City of Cape Town drew up conditions mixing the offenses that are in there, NLTA, and offenses that are in there, NRTA, of which those that are in the NLTA are impoundable, and those that are in the NRTA are not impoundable. So we are approaching the court on those grounds.
I just want to find out, how was the meeting with the minister?
Which minister?
The National Transport Minister.
The National Transport Minister is listening to us very well and echoes what we are saying in terms of the separation or differences in these acts. Hence, she is now in the meeting with the Premier and, of course, the Minister of Mobility of the Western Cape.
Has SANTACO heard about the incident in Langa where a vehicle was torched or set alight that is believed to have been transporting staff members?
When did that happen? No, we are not aware of that.
People are linking it to the Texas strike, so can SANTACO say something about that? Or maybe
we already, and we've been doing, and we are still saying that we encourage our members not to involve themselves in any criminal activities. That is what we have been saying, and that is what we are still saying. And SANTACO distances themselves from the criminal activities that are taking place out there.
Magnetic Church from the Cape Argus. I would like to understand what the minister will be coming back for, if maybe you've already had a meeting with her.
The minister will be coming back because there are certain things that she wants to discuss with the Department of Mobility of the Western Cape. So she will be coming back in response to that. And giving us a feedback as to what transpired in their meeting, what they have agreed to, and what they have not agreed to, all those. So we're expecting that report from her.
Since the stay away, do we know if any of the members or taxi operators have been arrested?
Yes, we do.
How many?
It's 60 the number that we have.
Or do you know the charges?
The charges was blocking the road.
I want to understand, SANTACO for a good week now has been distancing themselves from the violence that we're seeing. in the protest action and calling on your members to stay at home and not engage. However, a couple of days ago, the arrest of 60 taxi operators. What do you think make out of that? I mean, the government is accusing SANTACO of not having a firm grip, not only of the organization, but the members as well. So does SANTACO have a firm grip on its members in regards to when they have an instruction, members will follow?
In that regard, yes, they went and blocked the road, which is N2, but they did not get any instruction from the operators to do so. We think that that was done out of frustration of what is happening, and the statements that are in public domain from the mayor of Cape Town and from J.P. Smith. It may happen.
Will we be seeing action taken against those members that disregarded instruction from the mother body SANTACO?
Yes, of course, because as we said initially that we've got a code of conduct, but we still need to know where they're coming from which regions, from which associations, you know, but now that they are in court because they've been arrested, like some of them appearing tomorrow.
Mr. Enge, just a follow-up question from me. You say just now that you do have a grip on the situation as SANTACO. Then you turned around and you said that members, out of frustration, acted contrary to what SANTACO had urged the members to do. So the question is, as the stay away continues, there is no guarantee that your own members are going to adhere to conditions that you are saying you will meet. So I'm just checking when you say you're going to, how are you going to manage that process?
No, I want to correct you in that. I said it may be, because these people are still there. We have not even have a contact with them and find out who they are, what pushed them to do that. It's something that we still need to investigate.
But they acted against what SANTACO has been saying all week, urging people, its members, not to participate in any illegal or violent activity. Now, blocking a national highway is just that. So I'm asking, now that you as at this moment, extending the strike while you pending that interdict that you're going to apply for, what is to say that in the next 2 days, similar incidents won't happen, even though SANTACO is giving its asking and calling on its members? Who is to say that we won't see another blockade of N2 or other roads tomorrow morning?
Can I just?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, I think most of the reasons convene meetings this afternoon to speak to the members and address the issue of that we're continuing, we want to continue, and that we reiterated with them that we don't want any violence, we don't want them to participate in any blockages. So we hope they'll do. And we stress the point again that we're not there to commit any offences, but you must understand there is frustrated people, and sometimes that frustrated people do stuff that we tell them not to do, but we are going to be out on the road to see that our members don't commit anything tomorrow.
And then just a follow-up question, you said that action will be taken and that you have a code of conduct. What kind of action what kind of action can you take against operators or drivers who go against what you as SANTACO decide?
And time frame. I mean, it's been a couple of days. Members are in holding cells, so it's you have not engaged with them thus far. Is there a time frame that action is taken? An investigation, pending investigation?
So we've been so busy addressing the issues that we didn't get to any disciplinary actions, and we can only take the disciplinary actions once we have the full story of what happened. But also in cases of disciplinary, the code of conduct which government provides to us will speak to what offences we can and what punishments we can give to our members.
Regarding the impounded vehicles a couple of days ago on the M2 that had blocked that road, are you also calling on a local government to release those vehicles, even though the members that blocked the M2 broke the law?
No, I think that is a case that we will look at merit, but if there's offence that's impoundable, then it must be impounded.
Will you say blocking the M2 in protest is an impoundable
No,
offence?
it's not what I'm saying, it's what the law says.
Well,
So if the law say that it's impoundable, then it's impoundable. If the law say they must get a fine for it or any other punishment, then that's what the law says, not what I'm saying.
So would it be fair to say that you disagree with the minister's statement that those vehicles need to be released by local government with immediate effect?
The local minister or the
national minister.
the national minister was talking about the vehicles that was illegally impounded according to the NLTA.
Were the ones that were blocking the road and impounded a couple of days ago, were they illegally impounded?
They were illegally impounded because the law doesn't give you the right to impound the vehicle for blocking a road. That's why I say it's what the law says, not what I'm saying.
Can I have
I find it interesting. I mean, they're arrested. What was the charge again? I just forgot the charge. There's a charge that they're facing for blocking the M2.
It's a national road.
It's a national road. Yes, they're frustrated, but when I'm frustrated, I don't go in and block the M2. So my question is, those vehicles that were impounded, over 40 vans that disregarded the instruction from SANTACO, are you saying that those vehicles too should be released by local governments?
Yes, those vehicles should be released on the basis of the law. I don't think that we need to deviate from that, because the law says if there's a blockage on the road, then a fine should be issued, not impounding the vehicle. That is the law, which is enshrined in the constitution of the country.
Will you be challenging the impounding of those vans?
We will, based on the law.
Okay, I reserve one question. Mr. Kiza, forgive me, I'm a little bit slow. We've been here the whole day. Now, I hear when you're saying that now that you are broadcasting live your intentions, there is no turning back. Now, negotiations are going on. Are you saying if you reconvene another meeting after we have left, then by 2 o'clock we come at a different conclusion, you're going to stick to your earlier decision that tomorrow you're not operating?
Yeah, we're going to stick to the conclusion that we're not going to operate because government had enough time to come back to us. They can't wait till the night, the eve of us returning to come back with an answer. We gave them ample time to come back to us. We need to get, otherwise they're going to be mayhem out there tomorrow if our members and the public don't know what is the action. So we will want to tell them that there's going to be no vehicles. If they come back with an answer, we rather tell them tomorrow what's going to happen after that.
Mr. Manas earlier on described an industry that was on its knees and bleeding. The stay away was supposed to be a week. It's now extended to about 8 days. Was it all worth it? I mean, taking into account that the various spheres of government that you wanted to meet with and kind of meet and on common ground on some issues has basically not come to the table and not heeded your call. Was it worth it?
Yeah, it was worth it because it means that we've been exploited, so to speak, by the city of Cape Town and by the Department of Mobility for some years, whereby our vehicles were impounded illegally. So the department and the city of Cape Town, they need to be mindful of that. Remember what we have explained, it's something that is happening only in Western Cape. You will never see those conditions in any of the other provinces.
We have, in President, I think in 2015, if I'm correct, a bylaw, and about 300 minibus taxis were impounded.
Bylaw.
in the Bible?
I don't know about that.
Can I ask the number of what number would satisfy SANTACO in terms of the vehicles that were illegally impounded and returned to you guys? What number? Because I understand you said 6,000 vehicles were impounded. And so how many cars would actually make you say, okay, fine, now we are happy with the city if they were returned to you?
I don't think it's a number. If they were illegally impounded, then they was illegally impounded, then they must be released.
All
So
the 6,000?
if all of them was impounded illegally, then they must be impounded. Those that are legally impounded, we agree with the city that they must be impounded.
So you
That's what we've been saying all along. We say that what the Act says, the three offences that the Act prescribed for impoundment, that we don't question that.
So do we have a number, an exact
We don't have an exact number at the moment.
But I found it a bit strange, sir, because you went on a week-long strike province-wide based on a figure of 6,000, as you say, taxis impounded, yet you don't know. Of those 6,000, one could have been impounded, as you say, illegally. Would that then have made sense if you don't have those figures of which taxis were impounded under?
Can I clarify that point? This is what forced us to go on a stairway, because whenever you get the fine will say contrary to conditions of operating license. Every fine, it says contrary. That means therefore that it may happen that all those fines are illegally impounded. And to go back to what the question that was raised on what Amanda said, I want to highlight that for the last 12 months, we have 488 vehicles that have been repossessed only by one institution due to impoundment. And there's 309 vehicles that are in the sheriff now to be repossessed only in June, July. So that alone shows how the impound affects the business out there. Because if your vehicle is impounded and it's in the impound for say 4 days, it is very difficult for that person to recover the installment again, because even the fee that you will pay in order to release that van is huge. You must have plus minus 10,000 rand in order to release that van.
The city says that there's a simple solution, and that's to pay the fines. Do you not think that this whole situation could have been avoided by members paying their fines when they're supposed to?
Yeah, everybody must pay their fines. And I'm quite sure that when people don't pay their fines, they get a summons to appear before the court. And if that don't happen, the court has all the right to imprison that person. So what we see is happening, that they don't issue the fines anymore to the drivers, because they found out that they don't collect the fines. That's why there's no revenue for the city on that fines. So now they thought, let's change this and impound the vehicles, because now you're forcing the owner of that vehicle to come pay to get your vehicle back, otherwise you can't operate. So, and that is where the whole bowl of contention was, that you direct someone else's infringement unto me that didn't do anything, unto my vehicle that didn't do anything. The vehicle can't drive alone over a red robot. It's a person that drives it. And we never said that person mustn't be given a fine or go to jail. If he's driving recklessly, there's a recourse in the law that say they might lock him up. He must go to jail. He must appear before a court and state his case. So why do you punishing my vehicle that didn't do anything, but you let my driver that's doing the infringement, you let him go, but you're punishing me? Does that make sense? How JP is talking about changing behavior. How is that driver got to change behavior if he is letting go. My vehicle don't have a behavior that must be changed. It's the person that must be changed. So they let the person go. So it tells me they are aiming us to make money out of us. That's the only reason why they brought this in.
Let me just
ask the question.
Just a follow-up, because it's in line with Josh's question. It's just a clarity-seeking question again from myself. I've heard the mayor saying that they are not implementing the bylaws, but the National Land Transport Act. In other words, the bylaws which stipulate that every member of the public is subject to these sort of draconian laws. Seatbelt, indicator, we impound your car. The whole shebang. Just your interpretation on that, are we in danger as members of the public as well, if that's the case?
Of course. Of course, everybody is in danger because it's not in the law for them to impound your vehicle. They can only impound it on the 3 conditions in the Act. But now they made their own laws to impound. And they aim it at the taxi industry and they aim it at the guys that are doing this motor racing. And they say it's a 50-50. When they were asked this afternoon if it's how they impound it, the mayor said it's 50-50. Go to the pound and see there if there's 50 personal people's vehicles standing there. It's just taxis and Ubers and other vehicles that's standing there. There's no personal vehicles standing there for impoundments on their bylaws.
Can I take this opportunity and thank you so much, because we need to attend to the minister now. She has arrived. Thank you so much.